Hey everybody, I'm going to give you a second to hop on here. It is a little after 5. Lots to talk about today. Hopefully setting this up as an event helps some of you guys. I know it's hard with the timing because we're only on here for 10-15 minutes, so I want to make sure you get here. But you can always watch the replay, so don't worry about that. We have a couple big updates, and then I'll get into our topics of the day. So thanks everyone who asked your questions. Remember, if you do want to ask a question for me to answer in Hoerner Happy Hour, just tag me. You can ask it throughout the week anytime. Just tag me. I'll make sure I save it and I'll come in here and answer it. Anybody who's new, because we have a ton of new people in here. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm the founder of this group. I created it because we all need this. We all need the support. We all need this community, and I feel like I can help you guys from everything that I've learned. So this is what I do. So we have a lot of new people, so welcome. We do this once a week, Hoerner Happy Hour. I'm in here live answering all your questions. So if you ever have one, no matter whether you think it's stupid, it's probably not, it's definitely not. There's no stupid questions. Or if you just think that it's, really specific and you're hoping that someone can answer it for you, ask it. I'll always get to it. So a few big things before we get started today. If you're on my email list, which you should be, I hope you are. If you're not, you should be. Send me your email because that's where all my good stuff and my secrets go, and my big announcements go there first. If you're not, let me know. But if you are, you got an email today, and if you're in the EU, so or any of my UK people or Belgium, Norway, Ireland, I know we have people all over the place. If you're in there and you want to keep getting my emails, you want to keep getting the updates, you want to stay in the loop, make sure you check your email, your inbox, because I need you to reply to an email if you want me to keep you on the list. Sorry guys, I'm just going to turn on my do not disturb here so I don't get interrupted. So make sure if you're in the EU that you check your email tonight. If you don't and you're seeing this after Thursday, just shoot me an email. Or shoot me info@katehoerner.com or shoot me a message. I'll make sure I add you back in. But there are a bunch of whole new rules, GDPR. I'm sure you've seen a lot of emails, heard a lot about it. If I don't comply with that, I'm in big trouble. So I need you to tell me that it's okay to email you. Second big announcement. If you haven't already, if you're someone who struggles, and I know there are a lot of you in here, who struggles with class profile creation and execution, like if you sit down to write your class and it's either taking you hours to write or you just never feel like it's good, you never feel like it flows, it's the same thing over and over again, like something is holding you back from really making this great, you need to be on the list for my upcoming training because I'm literally making this for you guys. So if you're not already on the wait list, and I posted it in here a couple times, I will post it in here again on the caption of this video so you can just click the link and sign up. You need to be on the wait list, and I'm going to tell you why. You will get, I won't tell you why, but it's a big secret, but you're going to get way more if you're on the wait list than if you're just signing up later when I announce it. So if you're on my inner circle and you're on that wait list, you will be rewarded, I promise you. So even if you're just considering it, make sure you get on there. I'll put the link again in my caption of this video so you can sign up easily. It takes 2 seconds. Get yourself on there. So let's get into our questions for today. First one from Donna. She was asking about mixing up sprints. She said she keeps getting stuck in like a standard Tabata. I want to clear up one thing first about Tabatas because there's a huge misconception. They are not meant to be, Tabatas are not meant to be used over and over again during a whole class. So I've seen a lot of classes that are just continuous Tabatas. Tabata is meant to be an all-out freaking effort for that 20 seconds over a course. If you don't know what Tabata is, 8 rounds, 10-second sprints, 20-second sprints, 10-second rest. That's what a Tabata is. So a lot of instructors use that, which is great. But if you're doing a full class of over and over again Tabatas, you're killing your class, and first of all, they're going to be bored as all hell. And second of all, they're not going to do a Tabata right because they're going to be so exhausted from the first one, they're not going to be able to do the third, fourth, fifth one. So keep that in mind. It does work for some The structure works for some other kinds of group fitness. I've seen it used for like a boot camp class, and they sometimes just call it a Tabata class. That's fine, but in cycling it's a little bit harder to do. So maybe there's a way to structure it, but I haven't really seen it done well. So keep that in mind. When you're doing sprints though, if you need some variation, some different things that I'll just throw out a few ideas, and I'm sure everyone else here probably has some good ideas that they can share with you as well, Donna, but I like to think about using the songs, so using the chorus, using a good build. Maybe you do a song that has three chorus segments, and that's your sprint interval. So maybe it's like a 20 to 30 second chorus, and you can base it off that. That's really fun because there's usually like a build before the chorus. It gets the class excited and they can dive right into the sprint, and they know it's coming again because they'll recognize the chorus, so it helps them get a little bit prepared. So that's one option. You could also do shorter, kind of like a Tabata style attack, where you're adding on a lot of hill, a lot of resistance, you're making it really hard, and then you're having them push through it. So they're doing a sprint through a hill, and it's going to be way more power generated, and it's going to really crush them in a way that they've probably not done in the past. I actually like to, another thing you can do when you're doing these attacks, you can start them off in a sprint on a relatively lower not low resistance, but just above a flat or something like that. And in the middle of it, you have them add on a little gear so they can really feel the difference in what a sprint on a hill versus sprint on a flat feels like. It's kind of cool. And you can have them watch, if you have a meter, if you have them watch their power number, their wattage when they do that. That's also very cool because you can show them, see, this is how hard you're working when you really use your resistance right. So something to think about. Another thing you could do is a spin up. So slowly kind of increasing that speed over the course of a longer interval, so maybe a whole song. That is a little bit more endurance focused, but it's very interesting to see people struggle with that because that takes a lot of mental energy and strength, and you'll really have to coach them through that. But just slowly increasing speed over and over, maybe 5 RPMs over the course of a song, it can make for a cool kind of different type of sprint, I guess. You could break the class up into different sections and have them race each other. I've seen that a lot. I personally don't love it. It has to be the right atmosphere for it. You have to really build it up, but it is an option. Or even breaking up by rows, something like that. Catch the person in front of you. Make it fun for them. And that, I mean, I have a bunch of different things you could do, but just get creative with it. There's nothing that says you have to stick to a certain structure like a Tabata. So just, maybe a song speaks to you and you want to use it, or maybe you start to think of something a little bit different and you want to try it. Do it. People will love that. People love different. So hopefully that was helpful, Donna. Let me know if you have any questions on that. The other 2 questions I got were, we'll call them anonymous. I just got them email and a message, so I'll address those. The first one was, should I switch to Spotify? So I actually used to use iTunes exclusively because I wanted to buy my music. I felt like, I don't know, I just wanted to have it. I was really scared that if I did all these newer things like Spotify or Pandora, that my music would stop somehow and I wouldn't, in the middle of class, and I would be, screwed, more or less. I just didn't trust anything if it wasn't mine, if I didn't own it. I have since switched to Spotify, and I have to say it is wonderful. If you're thinking about making the switch, it's much lower barrier to entry to go from iTunes to Spotify than the other way around, because Spotify, all you have to do is buy a monthly membership and you have access to everything, every song you can imagine. So you might change your idea about what kind of song you want an hour before class, and you can do that. You don't have to go buy it. There's a lot of benefits to Spotify. Another thing that I love is the crossfade. So if you're not familiar with that, Spotify allows you to choose a certain amount of seconds in between each song that it will fade out of the one you're listening to and into the next one seamlessly, so you don't have that awkward silent gap. And on top of that, you can choose to have no gap in addition to that in case there's, a little bit too much time in there. So that's a huge benefit of Spotify as well. You can also always choose to download your playlist. So if you don't have access to Wi-Fi, which was one of my concerns when you're in your room, your spin room, you can download ahead of time. You can choose to download that playlist so you can access it regardless of whether or not you have internet or service on your phone. So that's big too. And just being able to share with other people. I mean, you've seen when we do Share Your Music Monday, a lot of people post their actual playlist from Spotify. You could dive right, if you had a Spotify account, you could open that up and just use that playlist. You wouldn't have to, go buy all those songs or save them in the right order or anything like that. It would just be there. So I have a million things I could say about Spotify, but as much as I spent, 8 years using iTunes and it was great, now that I've seen the light, I would never go back. And if anyone has any more questions about that specifically, like maybe things that make you nervous about switching, let me know, because I've checked everything. I know everything about it. I did my due diligence before I did the switch, so I'm happy to answer anything there. But whoever asked that question, if you don't want to ask more in here, feel free to message me. And then our last question, it's kind of a long one, so I'm not going to read all of it. And it's pretty personal. But this person had some issues recently with her manager, her supervisor, whatever you might want to call them. Again, I don't want to get into too many specifics, but basically there was an issue with some negative feedback about her class, even though she's doing a great job. Her students love her classes. She feels confident. She feels good about it. And that negative feedback kind of, I don't know, it brought her down. It made her feel defeated. It made her feel like she wasn't doing a good job and she needed to do better. And honestly, that mindset is what crushes us as instructors, because we're already in our own heads. We're already worried that we're not doing a great job for our students and our riders. So you have a manager come in, take your class for 5 minutes and give you a bunch of negative feedback. It's going to bring you down more than anything. So a few things. I mean, let's look at it first from the manager's perspective. They have been probably doing it for a while. They probably have constructive criticism, even if they don't deliver it that way, right? So maybe the things that they say are right. Maybe you leave too many awkward pauses, or maybe you're not upbeat enough. Maybe you're not energized. Maybe you're not smiling enough. I know people tell that to their instructors all the time. Maybe you're not engaging your students before and after class. Maybe your music isn't right, which is subjective, but we'll get there. But they could say 1,000,001 different things, and some of them could have a lot of validity to them. So I would urge you to weed through any kind of rude ways to say it and listen to the feedback that you're getting, because it'll only make you better if it is true. You're getting someone who's coming to your class and giving you feedback. That's great. I mean, we all need that, right? We all need that to continuously get better. But at the end of the day, if you're confident in your abilities and you feel like you're a great instructor and your riders tell you that and you have no reason to believe otherwise, unless you're doing something that's unsafe that a manager is kind of giving you a hard time about, don't let that get to you, because you're doing a great job. And everyone in here who is active and always ask me questions, I know you guys now. I know you work your asses off to be good instructors. You're here. You're here all the time. You're listening to this. So don't feel like you're not doing a good job just because one person tells you that. If there's anything I've learned over my 10 plus years in the spinning industry, indoor cycling, every instructor is so freaking different. And guess what? All of them have their people. And it needs to be that way. Because I'm sure, think about just in this group, the traditional instructors who teach old school spinning. The people that go to that class are not going to go to the new age dance on the bike class. They're not going to like it. They're not going to want to be there. Or maybe they will, and maybe they'll do both. Who knows? But everyone is going to want something different. They're going to want different music. They're going to want a different personality. They're going to want different kinds of motivation. They're going to want different kinds of classes, structure, all that. So what you're doing is just fine. And you can continuously improve, but don't get down on yourself feeling like your class isn't good enough. Because we're all in here getting better and better every day, and you're already a step ahead of a million other instructors out there that just don't give a shit and go in there and just hop on the bike and teach whatever comes in their head. So I know that was a little bit more of a pep talk than advice. It's really hard to give kind of overarching advice because everyone's going to have a different manager and we're all going to have to deal with different other instructors in our clubs. But just remember, too, that indoor cycling is huge at this point. There are studios and gyms and schools and whatever else everywhere. And even like corporate jobs, you could find a gym that has spinning. You'll find somewhere to teach. If you're somewhere where you don't mesh with the manager or the other instructors, find somewhere else. I taught probably 5 different places at once for most of my career, and I loved that because I love the variety of the teams and the people that I was riding with, as well as the people in the gym and the atmosphere. It's pretty cool to be at more than one place, and sometimes people don't let you do that. Sometimes your managers might restrict you from that, but if it's not working out, it's worth looking elsewhere because what have you got to lose, right? So hopefully that was a little bit of a Thursday afternoon pep talk, but you guys, I just have to say that I appreciate you all for being here, and I need you to know that you are rock star instructors. To even be in here trying to be better, I mean, what else is there? If we're not trying to be better, what else is there? And if you are trying to be better, that means that you're in love with this and you have a passion and you want to share that with people. So kudos to you. So you can tell I love this stuff, right? Anyways, all right. So I'm going to link up what I told you about at the beginning. I'll link it in the caption. And again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks, Linda. Thanks for being here. And I will see you guys next week. I am going to be traveling over the holiday weekend. Of course, I'll still be in here. But if you guys have questions, again, make sure you tag me in them so I see them. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you around.